Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Shawn.
This is Drew.
And we are back again with another week. Man, our books were super late this week. It's been a crazy week with Diamond. We just got our books today for the comic shop. For the website, the comic shop's not getting their books until tomorrow. So, wasn't able to read everything until today. So, let's get started. If you're new to this, here's what we do. We read the books. We pick out our top 10. If you can only buy 10 for the week, that's all you got, Drew. You're broke, you're poor, or maybe you're rich and you can buy 10.
That's true.
Everyone's a different scenario, right?
Yes,
if you can only buy 10, here's the 10 books that I would buy and the 10 books that Drew would buy.
Correct.
Right? Now, I pick my books more on spec. So I will buy books based on keys and first appearances and possible speculation in the future. Also story, art, of course. What do you pick your books most on?
Predominantly engagement. Spec is toward the bottom, but I will say there's a book in here. Maybe it's a spec book. For me, I think
that's
it's
a big step for you.
Yes, it is. That's a first, I think.
Oh, watch out.
Yes.
You're doing some specking over here.
Yes.
All right.
Could be wrong, but we'll see what happens.
And then we do our skip it's.
Yes.
I thought this might be good, but or why is this even a comic book? Now, any given week, there's literally dozens of skip it's. So we just kind of narrow it down to our 5 skip it's, just trying to save you a little bit of money or maybe, save some disappointment. One man's skip it is another man's buy it. So we are not the be all end all of comics. This is just two dudes' opinions on comics. So let's start with our skip it's. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, this is week of what is week of 224?
Yes.
224. Yes. So you guys probably already have your books. You went to your LCS. You picked up your books already. You probably read some already. That's cool. So let us know in the comments what you think about our picks.
Yes.
Are we on point? Are we idiots? Maybe a little bit of both. Let us know what you think.
Are we a little too rough on some of our skip it's? Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. So if we have the same skip it, we just pull it out because no sense talking about the same book twice. So my first skip it is Ice Cream Man. That definitely would have been a skip it for me also.
Yes.
I'll start.
Go for it.
So this one almost wasn't a skip it. Some of you are not going to like it because I hear this all the time. I think it's silly. But there's so many words in it. Right? It's a comic. Oh, me like more picture, less word, right? I get that.
It's not a Bendis comic. It can't have that many words.
I know, right? It's not it's not a Bendis or a Hickman book, right? So it's literally one page is like nothing but words talking about one person's perspective of what happens, and the next page is a total splash page of what's happening. And the entire issue is that way. It's the most unique. I've never seen a comic done this way. I'm sure there has been a comic done this way. But it's so unique. I really enjoyed it, but some of you are not going to like it. Ice Cream Mans are also one-shot stories. They're not building a bigger universe. Maybe they are, maybe they are. I don't think they are. But you can skip it if you want to. Some of you won't enjoy it. If you're not afraid of reading, pick it up. All right? Pick it up. So that's what I think about Ice Cream Man. Aquaman.
This was annoying and aggravating. This girl in this was beyond annoying and aggravating.
Aqualass, don't call her Aqualass.
I tried to count the number of times she says, I'm sorry for doing this, I'm apologizing, and how many times she cries. I'm like, I'm not reading a superhero comic to read about a girl crying nonstop. Who's supposed to be a hero.
That's so weird. It's also weird because for DC, they're taking their most of their future state stuff.
Yes.
Some, maybe half of it has been ridiculously over the top female powerful books. And to see her written this way, it's kind of like they almost went the opposite way with her. Too much. Like, can my hero have some hero to her?
And it really felt like there's two stories here. You have the other Aquaman, which is he's the guy I want to read about.
Yeah.
There should have been, if there was just a story about him being imprisoned, dealing with being tortured and having to escape. Boom! That's been a solid #1 recommended of the week, but no, we have to deal with her.
Concur. Okay, so let's talk about our next skip it. Skip it number 2. Oh, I'm gonna fight you on this one, bro.
Okay, and this gets back to what you just said earlier. This could be a skip it or a recommend.
Okay.
I have a good argument for this.
All right.
Right.
You go ahead and start.
The concept is brilliant.
Okay.
It's a brilliant concept, right? The House of L has expanded across the galaxy. right? You have the Guardians who are part of the House of El now. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, but in space.
Yeah, for generations.
Yes, correct. It is a terrific concept. But the execution of this, to me, is piss poor. Like, we're not introduced to these characters at all until this issue, and all of a sudden they're all bickering with one another, we're kind of seeing their society fall apart. And Superman comes in at the very end to save the day, more or less. But it's just like, if we had known, if there was a setup for these characters, so we understood and know their motivations, this probably might have been a recommend. But the fact that we're jumped into this, we don't know who these characters are, and they're all arguing with one another. I have no attachment to this. And
okay. So I feel the exact opposite about the book, and I'll save my thoughts for later.
Okay.
And I'm going to take you to task on that a little bit too.
Okay.
So this one here, Legion of Superheroes, as much as it looks like a cool cover, the story was just pointless. I don't get into. First off, I'm not a big Legion of Superhero fan. I don't know anybody who really is. I picked it up to give it a shot. Because I'm reading all the future state stuff, and it was just a huge disappointment. It couldn't keep my interest. Picked up a little bit at the end, but I still just don't give a shit about it at all. So just skip it. Ask somebody what happens. Hey, what happens in it? And their answer will be, I don't really know. A couple things. This guy does this. Okay, cool. That's all you need to know. Save yourself the $3.99 or whatever, $4.99. Right.
I'm assuming there's a massive amount of dialogue on Bendis.
Oh, jeez. Just skip it. Okay. Next one. Skip it number 3. Oh man! Again, I'm going to take you to task on this one.
I could write a thesis paper on this one. This is number 2.
Okay, so this is my skip it. Is just Wolverine. I mean, God, I didn't really like the last issue because they go to an auction. There's superhero shit on auction. Right, they do address in here a little bit towards the very end. They address a problem I had with the first one. How does Wolverine have an extra hand running around with adamantium claws? If his bones are laced in adamantium, how would you even cut his arm off to have it? I understand you could grow an arm back, but how you'd have to cut it off pre-adamantium being bonded to him? Just makes no sense. It's a total nerd conversation, right? They kind of addressed it at the end a little bit, but again, it's just a total skip it. Like nothing really happens. Him and Maverick have a talk. Maverick's like, "You're a pussy," and Wolverine's like, "No, I'm not. I'm happy." And then, "Let me know if you want to be a cool dude again." He's like, "You too," and then that's it.
That's going to be in my stack a little later. It's one of my simply for that conversation later on.
We got a huge. We're gonna have a lot of fun this week.
Yes.
All right, tell me about why you hated a good book.
Well, here's the thing with this. To me, it was one of those. I finished it. I read it. And I'm like, huh. I had to read it again just because I was conflicted on how I felt reading this. Backup sucks. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The backup.
Oh yeah,
sucks.
the backup is terrible.
But the main story, the way it ends, to me, being a longtime Batman fan. The fact, I mean, I understand how he goes out. He does go out like a champ in it, but the fact who he takes down, he just took down a bunch of Keystone Cops because these guys just come across in different titles as a bunch of bumbling idiots, and there's no continuity with the magistrate. Are these guys elite badasses or are these guys stormtroopers from Star Wars? I don't know. It really feels like you just took out the Junior League.
So I'll give you that. Like in the first issue, isn't that the issue where he jumps over them literally with a motorcycle, or is that Batman? Well, either way, there's an issue. He jumps over them in a motorcycle, like it'd be like this close to my head, and they all have these guns, and they can't even shoot him.
Yeah.
Like he's on a motorcycle, bro. Like I could probably give a 13-year-old kid a handgun, and they could probably shoot somebody.
It didn't really feel like a good payoff with the big reveal of who the Peacemaker was. I'm like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, I don't know who it is either.
Like,
you do see who Peacemaker is, but I was like, oh, cool, it's
who?
I don't know.
Is this the guy from the Realm?
The redhead guy. Yeah. So I'll tell you why I did like it later. Okay. All right. So that's your skip it.
Yeah.
Wow, we have two major conflicts.
Like I said, like you brought up very much earlier in our conversation. You know, this is a very much a skip it or recommend it. It's a very thin line this week. Very thin line.
You're a thin line. You're on a thin line with me right now.
Oh, hey, there we go. Yes.
All right, you go ahead.
This makes no damn sense. By them trying to make a cohesive timeline, they've only made it more convoluted. It doesn't make any damn sense.
So help me understand this.
Please explain it to me.
I can't, but I have a question. So what I think is happening is metal happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Death metal
Yes.
happens. Timeline gets crazy. Future state then comes into existence. But we know what's happened to certain heroes in future state.
Yes.
In the meanwhile, right? Like Batman, right? Meanwhile, here's what's happening with everybody else.
Yes.
They're all trapped in this weird timeline being ruled by some guy I don't really even know who he is.
He's a Superman villain from the 90s.
Okay, yeah, I don't really know who he is. He's ridiculously powerful. Like, overpowered. Mm-hmm. Super overpowered. Mm-hmm. Like, holy crap. And he has these time minions that aren't really his minions, and everybody winds up... Only part I did like, when they all go back to their original timeline, well, it's super anticlimactic, but they put them right back where they plucked them from. Like, I made it back. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll stop you, bad guy, who I was fighting in 1985. Right? It's like that was a little cool, but it was also stupid at the same time.
You know, and honestly, when you have a cover like this and you show the different key events in DC history, did they go to any of those events in the timeline? No, they didn't go to a single one of those.
No Crisis, no Death of Superman, no
Dark Knight
Bane
Returns.
breaking his back, no Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. Super misleading.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can totally skip it, dude. Totally, people. Yeah. Totally save yourself There's not even a cover price on this.
I think it's like $7, $8.
It's square bound, so
yeah. I think I'm gonna say $8.
Check. If you already bought it, sorry.
I'm sorry. I mean, I would have bought it just for the
$10.
cover. Jesus. Oh man.
Anyway.
So apparently, according to the linear verse, everything matters. Everything has mattered in the DC history because they're trying to explain how Batman and Superman could have been alive in the 1930s.
Oh yeah. So at the very end, that's the weakest ass Batman. Take this magical time bracelet, which is how he's able to be Batman from. So I did like that Batman was like the original Batman. His outfit was like the original Batman.
1930s, yeah.
But it's like, take this magic bracelet of time that'll help you influence all these people throughout time. And I'm like, really, DC? That's your explanation for how Batman can exist in the 30s to 2021?
Yeah.
Really? Magical time bracelet. Talk about a plot device. God. Terrible. Anyway, let's move on to the next
last one.
Skip It. Let's talk about some good stuff in a minute. Honestly, that's such a skip it for me, I didn't even read it. Okay. I'll start with this one. I don't know if you picked... I know you read Spider-Man every week.
That is in my stack.
Okay.
I got a good reason why, but I'll get to that later. Yeah.
Okay, so you get... There's one reason why I like the book. I'll skip it for when you show it. Here's why it's my skip it. 4 to 5 pages of Peter crying like a bitch about nothing. He's like, my life is terrible. I haven't accomplished anything. Harry, I'm so mad at you, but you're still my best friend, Harry. And just tell me what to do, Harry. God, shut up. Grow some balls, Peter Parker. Why are you such a giant pussy still? After all these years, God, we're on issue number 861 issues of Spider-Man. And we might as well be reading issue number 10 because he's made 0 life progress. Yep. Oh, God, I'm about to just... And I just saw, like, word balloon after word, but scene after scene of a different angle of Peter with a giant word balloon of him crying about something. Same thing. Thing after thing after thing. And there's, at the end, Mary Jane's working with the villain. And I'm like, really? So now Mary Jane's an idiot too, right? So Mary Jane's working with the bad guy because she hasn't had enough trauma in her life working with having bad guys kidnap her and traumatize her. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I hated it. Except for one thing I thought was kind of cool that Nick Spencer threw in there. But that's the only thing that made, that was a cool, and it's literally like one paragraph. Oh, that was cool. He said that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What I got?
Sorry,
this. So, this writer's an idiot.
Who is it? I don't even know.
Yang. I've never heard of this guy before.
Okay.
How the magistrate in the first place is able to take control in Gotham under Batman's nose this whole time. He has no clue about this. It irks me beyond belief because I've been a longtime Batman reader, and Gotham City is his war zone.
Okay.
It is his war zone. He knows all the players. He knows the layout. He knows everyone in the city.
Correct.
He knows every inch. I do not believe it for 1 second. He is not aware of a group that's taken control and has devices on bats, keeping an eye on, literally eyes sewed on the bats, keeping an eye on people, which opens another plot, continuity error in The Dark Detective when he's like, oh my god, these devices are hidden. We're all being watched. Bullshit. BS. You notice there's eyes on bats in this issue, which takes place before Dark Detective.
Yeah.
Continuity alarm. Sorry. This does not make sense. I don't buy it for a minute.
There's some major swing and a miss with Future State stuff. Major swing and a miss.
That felt good.
There's a couple hits.
Yes.
A couple hits.
Swamp Thing is the big one.
I'm going to get to some hits here in a minute. Okay. Let's go to the good stuff.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Good stuff. Number 10. If you could only buy 10 issues, what would be your 10th one this week, Drew? Oh, man, that almost made my list. I got Nuclear Family.
That is in my list later on.
Okay, sweet. So, just read it. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, even though it is already Thursday, but a bomb goes off, literally right in these people's house, and then something happens. You're like, what? And I can't wait to read the next one. They don't beat you over the head with plot. They don't beat you over the head with character development. You do get an attachment to the main character. You understand where he's coming from a little bit. You can relate a little bit to certain things. And then I want to know what happens. Liked it. You up, sir.
So, Maestro number 2.
Yeah.
The plot is pretty thin. It's pretty simple. It's not much happens. Which it's why it's in my number 10. So it could have easily been a not recommend. It could have been a skip it. But the banter is so fun, and I enjoyed Dr. Doom talking with the Pantheon so much. And like,
that was fun.
This just takes away from
Peter
all
David's
the banter.
still on it, right?
Yes, he is.
God, Peter David still got it.
Yes, he does.
He needs to write more stuff.
Yes, he does. Reading his dialogue, it's like this is a breath of fresh air compared to everything.
I think right now he's only on the Hulk, and in Symbiote Spider-Man.
That's correct.
Man, he needs to write more.
Yes, he
both
does.
Those are great titles.
If you want to read great dialogue, especially when you want to read Dr. Doom written well, which I love Dr. Doom, read this issue. It's fantastic.
Yeah, almost made it. Barely didn't make my list.
Yeah. I can understand why.
Number
9.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So cover is fantastic for Spawn. What are we on now? Spawn 315. Fantastic cover for Spawn. I think this is better than the other two. The interior is drawn beautifully as always. There's a reason why Spawn should always be on everybody's list every week, because the quality you get for $2.99. Kudos to Todd for keeping it at $2.99 for decades.
Yeah.
Just it's a read. You got to read it. Read Spawn. It's fun. It's exciting. The art's fantastic. The writing's great. Read it. Read Spawn. Get it. Get Spawn.
That's in my stack a little later on too.
Sweet. What do you got?
I have got Black Cat.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this was for me. It was another fun read. After reading everything from DC, I read DC first, and I got to this. I'm like, this was just fun. So in the previous issue, Black Cat gets a magical device where she's imbued with this power, but we see that it comes with a cost. There's a price. It's like with temptation with it. The guy tries to lure her away. Mm-hmm. Then finally he offers her the one thing, and she's like, whoa, wait, no, that's not happening at all, period. I'm like, yeah, I can see Black Cat.
Yeah.
And
I thumbed through it. I didn't read it.
Yeah.
The art's pretty solid in it.
Yes, it is.
From what I thought. I do like that they're bouncing around a little bit, having fun with it. It's definitely a fun one. There was just way stronger stuff for me this week.
Okay.
I like DC a little more than you.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Probably a lot more.
Because I love DC so much I hated it this week. That's why.
Dark Detective. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I chose Dark Detective because there's some great splash scene fight pages in there.
There are.
There were 2 wow moments where I was like, whoa, this is nice to see. Finally, some beautiful action art. And Batman, we finally get the moment where he's fighting Peacekeeper, number 1, right? There is a little bit of weirdness, like, are the Peacekeepers badasses or are they screw-ups? Peacekeeper 1's clearly a badass, and he always has been. Still don't know who he is. They do show his face finally. And I just really enjoyed the banter while they were fighting. Like, Bruce Wayne, I killed you once, I'm going to kill you, you're already dead. Like, Peacemaker is I hope they build on the badassness of his character. Now, you think at the end, they both die, and, at the last minute, I erected a force shield or some shit.
We know, I'm not going to lie, we know from reading Future State, Bruce doesn't show up again at all, period.
Yeah, and he takes him out. I like the end line. I forgot what it was. I don't feel like looking either, but there's a really good line when he blows him up that he says like, well, that was pretty well written.
Into the light, something involving the light.
Yeah. From when you take away the darkness or something. Yeah, I really liked it. So I think this was good. The Dark Detective, it started on a high note. Yes. Number 2 was a little lower. I feel like number 3 ended on a high note. I feel like it was a better series. The backup story, I'm trying to remember. What's the backup story?
Peppermint Patty.
Oh, I didn't even read it. I thumbed through it. I was like, not even gonna bother.
Art is terrible.
Yeah, not even gonna bother. Okay, did we talk about yours already?
Wolverine 10.
Oh yeah.
So the one reason why I enjoyed this,
okay.
So I brought up earlier in the previous weeks how Adam Cooper, he's got a different art style now.
Yep.
And in this issue, it's really rough for me looking at his art, and like it just feels very simple compared to what he used to do. And I understand it's different now, he's older, but it's like I still miss the 90s Adam Cooper. But the payoff for me was at the end when Maverick and Logan are having that talk, and Maverick brings up the problems I'm having with the reader with the X-Men, where he's saying, what is wrong with you? You've changed. There's the island. I really feel like, yes, he's addressing there's a problem. I really feel like he has drank the Kool-Aid, or this is an evil clone of Wolverine. Like these are not his normal actions. Something is wrong with Krakoa, and I think probably in the next year or so, maybe 6 months, we're going to see a turn of events on that. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, something is wrong with Krakoa.
It would be interesting to see a more badass Wolverine back, because he's just been so softened over the years.
Yes.
Really, he's not the Wolverine when I was a kid.
No,
for sure.
Likewise, yeah. No.
But I didn't like it at all. I do understand what you're saying about that. It feels like he's addressing a bigger problem possibly with the X-Men.
Yes.
But I'm really enjoying the X-Men. I love all the X titles. I read every one of them. There's definitely some stronger points and lesser points, but I love the universe that Hickman has created with Krakoa and what the X-Men are done and becoming. So he tempts them too with like, hey, they could bring you back, give you your powers back, and he's like, nope. He's like, I like who I am now. It's almost like he's saying, we're defined by our flaws and our scars, and those things make us. Again, why do I want to start over again and be not who I am? So anyway, I can see that. I just didn't like it at all. Okay, where are we on? 7. Cover by. Yeah, not gonna read it. Don't give a crap about what's inside of it. Josh Burns. This cover is so good. I mean, man, look at this thing. Josh Burns. Man, Josh, thank you for another great cover. You're crushing it. I'm gonna email you because I want more covers for you for the store. So good. Go for it.
Prio, another sexy and violent Vampirella cover.
Lucio, yeah.
I love it. Love Lucio. And I only wish this was one in full color, because I think the full color one looks better than the one in red.
Yeah.
Because you see everything. But I didn't see it, unfortunately. But
must not have been on the table.
Yeah. But this one's still great. Sexy and violent.
Yeah. There you go. There's a cover by.
Yes.
Sweet for both of us. All right. 6. Yes. Man, I almost want to talk about that now with you. Cover by. It's already going for $20 on eBay. We knew it was going to be hot when it was released. There's nothing special about it. It's just a great Copel Voices cover. I feel like the story insides are kind of weak. I heard whispers about there being some character or something. I didn't see anything in there of some character. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. It could be a flash in the pan. Maybe people are just trying to make it more than what it is. But that's why I got it.
This one, Suicide Squad, I had so many oh crap moments reading this. And the ending, it's the biggest what?
Yes.
Suicide the Crime Syndicate's already kicked off this week. Well, it comes out next week. But so many questions from this leading into that, because this takes place after the current title's going on now. It's like, how did we get to this? And I'm like, this is a great read. It's a lot of great what ifs. The art is fantastic. The backup, I did not like at all. I hate the Booster Gold girl. I was grinding my teeth.
I love the backup story. I loved
it. The way it ended, I was so pissed. I'm like, what? You can't do that to Black Adam?
Yeah.
You can't do that?
I loved everything about the backup story.
His moment of redemption, gone. It's like, what? You can't do that?
We don't know, really.
It says the end. There's no question mark.
Yeah, but we know he's showing up in Justice League.
Yeah, well, it all takes place before this.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. We don't know. So, I loved it. I loved all of it. I loved the Suicide Squad. This is still in my stack, by the way. I loved the story.
Yeah.
I loved how the main story was great.
Yes, it was.
And I was so shocked. I was like, I can't believe I'm loving Suicide Squad so much because I don't give any shits about the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Never have. I talked about this before. I'm not interested in it. But I gave it a shot. The first one, it was great. I loved the backup story also with the unkindness. They kind of talk about the origin of the unkindness.
Yep.
I don't know if is it Raven. I think they hinted it looks like
Raven's been possessed by the unkindness.
Okay, so
she was the vessel for it, I believe.
Okay, yeah, I kind of got that. I thought I got that. I wasn't sure what they were trying to tell me, but I loved the story. I thought the girl Booster Gold, she's a little bit crazy, and I really took my time with this book. I really read it, and she had me. There were 2 moments I literally laughed out loud. I was like, that was really funny. Every time she can't finish everything, all of her titles, like she's reliable, but she's also nuts. Like I thought she added a little bit of levity into a very heavy story, and I love how Adam, like, man, he has a couple big moments in there.
Yes, he does. He does,
yeah.
And then it feels like the carpet is pulled up from under us with that ending. I'm like, wait, what?
The ending is very like, what just happened? Like, really? There's a lot of really moments in there at the end. I'm hoping that Justice League sheds a little bit of light on things, or we get some more later on in the year about what happened at the end of it.
Yes, want to know what happens with Shazam? Yes.
Yeah, Shazam. Okay, here we go.
5.
Crossover, that's a great cover. I'll start. Crossover. Yeah, it's great. Donny Cates, Madman's in it, and I'm a huge fan of the Undiscovered Country. God Country, the other country, God Country. Huge fan of it. Great story. Love it. Valifax shows up at the end of this one. Spoiler, if you don't know who Valifax is, go read God Country. You should be reading God Country anyway. Everybody needs to read it. I think it's by far Donny Cates' best story he's ever done. And I'm super pumped. I just wish I had more story. Donny gives us a lot of back. I feel like we get a little bit of God Country's in the book, like 3 or 4 pages of it. I don't want that. I want more story. I want more crossover story. And I don't know who it is at the end with his arm hanging off the table. I didn't recognize it. But I want to see who that is that they got on the operating table. Like, I am loving this. I can't wait to read it every single week. Go for it.
Symbiote Spider-Man number 4, Peter David. Once again, twofer for Peter David this week. Greg Land on the art. He's still kicking butt. His art's still great. David Nakayama cover, 1 in 25. This is a prequel to pretty much Null and the symbiote, madness going on right now. We pretty much see how symbiote Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and a few his ragtag group, including Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, are in space. They're trying to essentially defeat Null before he takes power. So we know what happens now. So it's kind of interesting. How did they fail? And did they know that they failed? Or did they think they won? I don't know. So this is going to be interesting.
I think it is it's super weird because it's like this is in the past. And we know what happened now. And what did they do? Have no impact now? Like, I'm super curious to see how he ties that together.
Great dialogue, great action scenes. Love it. Pick it up. It's a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Boom.
Oh, there's your Spawn. Some Skin of the Children. So it feels like it's the end. It's been a pleasure reading every single one of these Something Skin of the Children.
Well, I did tell you, I think last week, this was originally written as the ending because I didn't think it would make it that long.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the end.
Yeah.
However, there's more coming out. But great end to the series. It's been a treat reading the whole thing. There's another couple of wow moments in there. They reveal even more of this secret society the girl's a part of. I loved it. Every part of it. Fantastic. Go buy all of them and read it. It's so good. Straight up. Do it. What you got?
Spawn 315.
Yep.
Medieval Spawn, kicking butt. It's just nonstop action fight issue. It's awesome. And there's really no dialogue. It's just, igniting word bubbles.
Yeah.
Just describing what's going on. I'm like, this is like reading an awesome 90s comic.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of like reading X-Men Legends.
Tons of action.
Tons of action.
I love Omega Spawn.
Yes, looks
She's
great.
cool. Yeah.
And I love the cliffhanger ending on that. So it looks like we're gonna have another drag out fight. So cannot wait.
Sweet. Yes. Fun. So get Spawn, guys.
Great cover. Both at the same cover. Pick it up.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Super. Definitely strongest cover. All right, we're down to our top 3.
Yes.
Oh my God, you put that high?
Yes, I'll explain why. I'll explain why.
Okay, only reason I got this in here is because, as we all know, I did pick this cover. As we all know, you get the new Batman's sister acting as his sidekick. Don't call her Robin. She's clearly not a Robin. But acting as his sidekick. So, that's it. The Poison Ivy story, where Batman's a knight, was stupid. Didn't give a crap about it. It was dumb ending, dumb premise. Could give a crap about it. The last story, dumb, boring art. Couldn't give a crap about it. The story was pretty solid though of the Batman from Future State. So I did enjoy it. It is a key. You got to get it. I picked cover B because cover A is just so terrible compared to B and C. So that's what I got.
So I picked Spider-Man this week. Nick Spencer and Mark Bagley still. I mean, I was telling Kyle, my brother, Mark Bagley's been on Spider. He's been doing Spider-Man since the '90s.
Yeah, for a long
and
time.
his art is still solid to this day. I don't know what he's doing, what he's taking. But
I disagree with you. All it is different headshots of Peter. Well, 90% of the issue.
In this issue, now I'm gonna this is gonna get to my other point.
Okay.
So, I lost a close loved one about going on 11 years ago this past week, and reading this. What Mary Jane suggests Peter do when coping with trauma when I was in the service. This was what our therapist recommended we do along these lines. You know,
okay.
Instead of what Peter does when he's on a stage, they suggest writing a letter to your loved one. Or leaving a message. You're getting all those feelings out. In a way, this felt like a true therapeutic method. He's getting everything out he would want to say to Harry, and I could relate to that.
Okay.
That got me. Maybe if someone hasn't dealt with that, maybe it's because I dealt with that so recently, this past week. That's why it hit closer to home for me.
Okay.
And the other reason why is because Mephisto at the very end could be ending one more day. I so hope to God they're going to end it. We're going to
Doctor Strange
negate it. Yes.
Visiting Mephisto. Yeah.
Yes, I so hope those are three solid reasons. But
the only thing I did like when Nick Spencer said, when Nick Spencer wrote that Peter said, "Look at where I'm at in my life. I still don't have I'm unmarried, no kids.
Yeah.
I'm still on rock bottom, which is weird because he owns Parker Industries." Yeah. And when he said that, I was like, you know what? You just pointed out the major flaw in Spider-Man.
Constantly making the same errors over and over again.
Yeah, and it's like, because they have to keep writing him. Oh, we've had a successful Peter. Yeah. And nobody liked him, I guess. We've had a Peter. I don't understand why they don't just have him marry Mary Jane, because that
well, they did, but Joe Quesada wanted the next step.
I liked what's that damn Renew Your Vows?
Oh yeah.
When they had a kid, that was a successful series.
Yes, it was.
I hate they keep giving Peter a kid, and the kid always has spider powers and is always a screw up, just like Peter. We're getting a revisited Spider-Man again. The coolest version of Peter Parker I think I've ever liked was from Earth X. It'd be cool if we had some kind of a version of that. Just give me more from him than just a big whiny crybaby bitch. I'm tired of it. Sorry, not sorry. God, just... So that touched you personally, which is why you put it up so high.
Yes.
Okay.
I understand. Like I said, I understand why.
Yeah. So, yeah. I have my suspicions if it didn't touch you on that personally.
It probably would have been a skip it. Yeah. So yeah.
Don't forget report things when people touch you.
Number two.
Oh my God! Really?
Yes.
Stray dogs.
It was. I would not have put this, but I was not going to read it at all. I wasn't going to.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? It's been such a crappy DC week. I'm gonna give this a read.
Man, you're a super suspect to me this week, bro. Okay, I'm gonna start because I'm gonna tear you up for this one. Okay, maybe not tear you up. Okay, so I like that you jumped, and this is what's weird to me is because you've written comics.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I like that they throw us right in the middle of a war, a failing war.
Yes.
And the House of Hell is getting their ass kicked.
Yes.
And that's not what you expect. They totally throw a wrench at us, and I loved it. Usually it's like Superman is, oh, here we are in the shining city of Metropolis, and it's like, bleh, I'm tired of that too, just like Spider-Man, same shit over and over again. It's totally fresh, different. It's generations in the future. This Red King, this is plus huge key, major first appearances in here.
Yeah.
Red King turns out to be the son of Superman, but he was tricked by a bad guy to giving a son. He was born of magic and some other shit they say in there. So is it really his son? He does call him his son. You can tell he thinks he's bad enough to kick Superman's ass. Kal-El does show up at the end. He's been banished somewhere, and this version of Brainiac finds him. That version of Brainiac gets killed, which is super cool too. He shows up and he's a total badass. Finally, give me a badass Superman who knows he's badass. He does take his kid and they run off somewhere. I hope that works out okay. I'm a little bit suspect because if this kid's whole life is just defined to destroy Superman, all of a sudden his dad shows up and is like, hey kid, you want to go on adventure? He's like, sure dad.
Yes,
I hope that's not the case. I hope he's like, oh, why'd you take me this dimension? By the way, I'm still trying to kill you, which is his whole life's mission. I hope that's the case. But I love that you get these characters, people die, you see their reaction, they're still in a war, they worship Superman like he's a god, and they don't even believe he's real.
They don't even believe he's real.
He's become a mythical legend, and he does show up, and it renews like, oh man, I loved it. I really, really loved it. It made my number 2. I couldn't believe it made my number 2. Because the other Superman stories have been such a disappointment.
Yes.
This was so good. This is the kind of awesome Superman shit that I want to see.
I will say this: it probably would have been in my list if the issue 1, if they had done 2 issues of this. Issue 1 would have been an introductory to these characters. We're established. We've established the world. We see their civilization rise. You know, that could have been that first one. It's like, see who they are. Yeah. You can see it rise, and then boom, this one, it falls like 20 years later. It's like, what the hell happened?
You wanted more of a build-up.
Well, not just a build-up, but like established, like, who are these characters? Because we're automatically thrust into getting these characters. We don't know who they are.
Yeah, but they kind of tell us as the fight's happening too.
Yes, but we don't have an emotional attachment to them because we don't know what they've gone through, who their parents, most of them who their parents are. You know what their struggles have been, what their successes have been. It's like,
you know, maybe number 2. Maybe number 2 is strictly about. I hope it's not just about Superman in this other place with this kid. I hope we still get some of these characters because there's a lot of good stuff that could be happening here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it is a great concept. Absolutely great. Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
Okay.
All right.
I say it's a great concept.
And go ahead with your
Stray Dogs. Yes.
Your puppy dog book.
I was not going to read this at all. I was going to avoid it like the plague.
Okay.
But I read it. I was just like, I did one of these. Here we go. I sat down, and the art, I was like, whoa, I feel like I'm watching a Don Bluth animated feature right now. This is crazy. I am actually enjoying the art of this.
This is crazy.
It is crazy. And I'm like, this is not right. And there are some great...
You're right. There's
some great twists and turns in this.
This is a big twist.
There's a lot of great twists with a puppy goes, or a dog, you know, her owner, they go to the vet, she gets injected with a shot, they start bringing up, like, you know, the short-term memories of animals and dogs that only last like a couple days, if that, or a couple hours. And then we're thrust into her, she's automatically at a home with other dogs run by some mysterious guy, and she automatically has memory flashbacks to who may have killed her owner. And it's like, whoa, what is going on here? This is a very interesting mystery with some very beautiful art. It could be a skip it. It could be a love it. I recommend you give this a try. Just give the issue a try. It threads the line very easily between skip it or love it, you know. And I'm going to give this a push and say give it a shot. Give it a try.
Oh, sorry.
Did you break the statue again?
No, I was just... What were we talking about again? I'm sorry.
Stray Dogs.
Oh, yeah, the book about dogs.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, if that's your thing, that's cool. Yeah, there you go. The art is pretty good. I'll give it that. That's about as far as I got. I was like, oh, it's a dog. More dogs doing shit. Dogs doing shit. Art looks pretty good. More dogs doing shit. Not my thing. I'm not going to read My Little Pony. I'm not going to read the Care Bears. And I'm not going to read the dog book.
Well, I do not read My Little Ponies, but I did pick this up. One, because, I mean, as soon as I saw the artwork on the first few pages, like, this is like watching a Don Bluth animated feature. This artwork is fantastic. And if you grew up with Don Bluth animated movies, it's like, this art's terrific. It really does thread the line between skip it or love it. I'd say just give it a shot. I think you may enjoy it. If you grew up with those movies, you'll enjoy the artwork. And the story is very interesting.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were talking about the dog book. Okay, let's do our number ones. I'm just making fun of you, bro. You know I love you.
And a rough week of bad DC books. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, that made number one for you.
Yes, it did.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, you totally redeemed yourself. Okay. Yeah, everything Drew said. Hold on, let me put Hulk's head back on him real quick. Everything Drew said about this book, I loved it. It's my number one. No crap, no poop, no shit. It's my number one. Yeah, for reals. It's that good. Background story's great. Main story's great. Yes, buy it, get it, love it, read it. Okay, nuclear fan, what'd you think?
Dude, I love this. I did not think I was going to enjoy this at all. Because I was doing some fact checking on this, checking the dates, talking about recessions and everything, and the Sputnik. I'm like, all right, this all adds up. This writer did her research.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she did.
I didn't do that.
I did because I want to be like, all right, I want to make sure. And like, recession in 1957. Really, you want to check? Okay, there wasn't a recession in 1957. Sputnik did launch in 1957. Sputnik won, and it felt like I was watching an episode of The Twilight Zone. The way it ends.
That ends a big twist.
Yes, very huge twist.
You're like, not expected.
No, not at all.
Not expected.
And it's great reading. It's reading 1950s Americana, and then we get a nuclear bomb day after twist, kind of toward the end.
Yeah.
Pick it up. It's a great read.
Yeah,
very fun.
highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Great cover stock too.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
printing's great. Good cover stock.
Tony Moore did a good variant.
Who does that after? Is that Aftershock?
Yes, Aftershock.
Yeah, good on Aftershock for spending the extra whatever cents it costs to make a good cover. Yeah. Marvel.
And good on Stephanie Phillips doing her research. That's what I gotta say. Kudos to you.
Yeah. All right. So hey, man, that's our top 10 for the week. As always, if you want to win my picks, comment what book you were most looking forward to. Actually, just comment anything. I don't care. Join the discussion. I read all the comments. I do. Mm-hmm. I think Drew reads most of all the comments. Yep. I can't reply to all of them. I'm super busy, guys. Drew will reply to some of the comments. I love the conversation. I love hearing your guys' opinions. Mm-hmm. Sub to the channel, please. If you're reading this, sub up. Don't just ignore it. Everybody just ignores it. Mm-hmm. We're having some epic giveaways, guys. We're giving away a Thanos on the throne statue. You see all these beautiful sideshows behind us in XMs. We're giving some of this stuff away. For a 2,000 sub mark, we're getting close. We're at 1,600 already. The channel's had some great growth. We're doing more and more videos coming your way. Don't forget to hit the notification bell because Friday we do giveaways. I'm doing the giveaway video. So this giveaway video will be done tomorrow for this episode. So thanks for hanging out. Until next time, buy what you like, collect what you want, and don't listen to the haters.
Take it easy.
See you next time.